24/7 Sports. It is your boy BSG. Now, before we get into this video, if you're watching this video, I just want to say thank you for watching. To all my subscribers, I want to say thank you for subscribing. And if you're looking for a sports channel that's willing to be unapologetic, willing to give you the truth about these college players, NBA players, NFL players, and somebody that's not controlled by the media, somebody that's not going to have a muzzle on his mouth, I'm going to always keep it real with you. If that's what you're looking for, even when we disagree, then this is the channel for you. So let's get into this video talking about my boy, my main man, Jahlil Okafor, and the mess that's going on in Philadelphia right now. Why is it that? Let's just start right there, okay? And for those of you who don't know, I don't use a script. I'm not going to do any editing. This is me flowing. This is what I do. I'm just going to talk from the heart, from my brain, like I always do. But why is it that one organization can have so much mess off the basketball court, like the Philadelphia 76ers? They've had umpteen first-round picks, and many of them have been unhappy, and they have not handled a number of situations the way that I feel like a professional sports organization should handle it. That includes, at times, the Joel Embiid situation. They exacerbated his injuries to a certain extent. They didn't really know what was going on. They misdiagnosed him, and it has worked out so far for about 40 games. But time will tell if Joel Embiid will have a long NBA career. Of course, you know about the Markelle Fultz situation that's going on. That is a hot mess, and I don't think that he's going to stay in Philadelphia by the time it's all said and done. But who gets lost in all this sometimes is Jahlil Okafor. Now, if you don't remember, Jahlil Okafor was the third pick in the 2015 NBA draft. He put up great numbers in college, averaging 17.3 points, over 8 rebounds. He shot 66% from the field, and his player efficiency rate was ridiculous at over 30. So many people, myself included, consider him to be the best player in the draft. He certainly put up better numbers than Karl Anthony Towns. Now, this draft, the 2015 draft, was supposed to be one of, the drafts that was going to change the NBA, and it really has not lived up to the hype. I mean, you got Karl Anthony Towns going number 1. Okay, that has worked out. D'Angelo Russell went number 2. No, that he didn't pan out in his original team. You got Jahlil Okafor and Kristaps Porzingis. Now, you could argue that Kristaps is the best player coming out of that draft right now, along with Karl Anthony Towns. Mario Hezonja, the 5th pick, was a bust, another bust that I predicted right from the jump. I just wasn't on YouTube at that time. So this draft, you had Emmanuel Mudiay, Frank Kaminsky, Justice Winslow. Devin Booker has probably been the best draft pick according to where he was picked. He was the 13th pick. But besides that, it really hasn't been a draft that people thought it was going to be. So I would still say, even now, with Jahlil Okafor not getting minutes, he's probably still top 5 in that draft, even though he's not playing. However, he does find himself on the bench, and many people have said that it's because the NBA has changed and now his game is totally obsolete. And I totally 1007% disagree with that. When I think about Jahlil Okafor, I think about a better version of Marc Gasol. And it's not so much that their games are so similar, is that I see a lot of parallels between what Marc Gasol is now and what Jahlil Okafor could be. Now, NBA analytics dude, they love centers like Marc Gasol and DeMarcus Cousins because, they can do a number of things, especially including shoot the three. All these analytics dudes just feel like the three-point shot is, the best, most efficient shot in basketball. And I happen to be one of these dudes that totally disagrees with that. But, I do understand their point. If you shoot 33% from three-point range, it is the same as shooting 50% from two. So I do understand that. However, Marc Gasol, who's been in the NBA for 10 seasons, for the first 8 seasons did not take a three-point shot. I mean, he averaged like 0.1 three-point attempts per game. Okay, he rarely took any three-point shots, and his percentage was like 8%, 12%, 17%. I mean, he didn't even look at the rim when it came to shooting three-pointers. Then all of a sudden, 2 years ago, Marc Gasol started shooting threes, and he turned himself into a 38% three-point shooter, which has totally expanded his game and made the Memphis Grizzlies a better team. Like I said, it took 8 years for him to get to that level. So why criticize Jahlil Okafor, who has basically played a year and a half, for not being a great three-point shooter? He has time to develop into that. And if you look at his free throw percentage, which is not quite as good as Marc Gasol, one way for you to tell if a big man is going to be able to turn into a decent shooter is to look at his free throw percentage. And Marc Gasol is a career 78, 79% free throw shooter. Well, Jahlil Okafor is like a 69% free throw shooter. So he may never shoot 38, 37% from three, but he might get up to 30 or 31 or 32. The bottom line is, if he does that, defenses are still going to have to respect that shot. Here's the thing. Why do we have to base everything off a three-point shot? Okay, there is still a place in the league for a good big man with great footwork, great post moves, great hands, your Bill Russells, your Wilt Chamberlains, your so on and so forth. If Wilt Chamberlain was still in the NBA today, you mean to tell me he wouldn't be an effective big man? If Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was still in the NBA today, and I have never, ever seen Kareem Abdul-Jabbar shoot a three-pointer, you're trying to tell me that he wouldn't be effective in today's game? I think it's a double standard. In fact, there's another young player right now by the name of Giannis Antetokounmpo that everybody is in love with and think he is an MVP candidate. And this dude can't shoot threes. He's not that great at shooting jumpers, but he is dominating people going to the hole. He's playing bully ball. So, whether you're shooting threes or if you're taking people to the hole and you're getting the whole team in foul trouble, which I think is more valuable, it doesn't matter. The bottom line is, can you play the game? The second thing that people talk about Jahlil Okafor in terms of his negative aspects is his defense. Yes, I will agree that Jahlil Okafor is not Ben Wallace. He's not Draymond Green. He's not Alonzo Mourning. However, he's also not Greg Monroe, which a lot of people have compared him to. Being a Detroit Pistons fan, I have watched every game Greg Monroe played since he was drafted. And I can tell you without a doubt that Greg Monroe is one of, if not the worst big man defender in the entire NBA. He averaged something like 0.5 or 0.6 blocks per game. Guys can go to the hole at will against Greg Monroe, which is why he's not getting any playing time in Milwaukee. It's not because of Greg Monroe's offense, which, can be similar to Jahlil Okafor's, but it's because of his defense why he's not on the floor. Well, Jahlil Okafor is a much better defender than Greg Monroe. He has averaged in his NBA career 1.2 blocks per game. Well, Marc Gasol, to give you a comparison, has averaged about 1.5 blocks. So you telling me the dude can't be an effective player because of a difference of 0.3 blocks? There's absolutely no way. Based on what I just told you, based on his efficiency rating, he averaged 17 points a game as a rookie, which is the same thing that he did in college, and he's basically only had 1.5 years of development and playing time. I'm telling you right now that Jahlil Okafor can still play, and quite frankly, he can be a star in this league for the right team. He has great feet. He has great hands. He has a great basketball IQ, which is something scouts don't even look for anymore. I don't understand. One of the reasons why you have a guy like a Hazonja and a Markelle Fultz and other guys who look like they're going to be busts is because they have very low basketball IQs. Jahlil Okafor has a pretty good basketball IQ. He comes from a basketball family. I think he's the second cousin of Emeka Okafor. He went to Duke. I don't know anybody that has played for Mike Krzyzewski that is a dummy in terms of basketball IQ. It's just not possible to be around Krzyzewski and not understand the game. So he's getting a bad rap. It's a bad fit in Philadelphia. And right now, Philadelphia can't get anything decent back for Okafor because of this new basketball analytics nonsense that everybody feel like that every person on the basketball court has to be able to shoot a three, and that's just not the case. So which teams would benefit the most from a guy like Jahlil Okafor? Well, I have to first of all start off and be biased and say that my Detroit Pistons should absolutely go after a Jahlil Okafor, even if that means giving up a first-round pick. Right now, the Pistons are struggling with somebody in that power forward position. And even though Jahlil Okafor is a traditional center, you could either put Drummond at the 4 or Okafor at the 4. Tim Duncan, David Robinson, I know I'm blaspheming here, but have that type of a team. Neither one of them are on the same level as Duncan and Robinson defensively, but you could do that because any team with a decent power forward, a Antetokounmpo, a Ben Simmons, a Kristaps, all of that, they killed the Detroit Pistons because Tobias Harris is the 4, or they go with, one of these guys off the bench, Anthony Tolliver, somebody like that who's not a good defender. So I think the Pistons, honestly, I'm not just saying that because I'm a fan, I think they could really, really benefit from having a guy like Okafor. The second team, and probably a sleeper team that could use a guy like Okafor, is the Cleveland Cavaliers. They are struggling right now, something terrible. And, with Tristan Thompson going down with an injury, Kevin Love is a horrible defender, which is part of the reason why they're losing. Again, there's one of those analytics dudes. So you bring in a guy like Okafor, he totally would be able to stabilize that center position, and I think make the Cavs a better team. The Phoenix Suns are also a team that has been rumored to be looking at Okafor. I think that would be a decent fit as well. but I don't know that the Phoenix Suns organization is any more stable than the Philadelphia 76ers organization. And so I believe he wants to go to a stable place, which leads me to the team that I feel like least needs him but may end up with him, and that is the Boston Celtics. If the Boston Celtics go out and get Jahlil Okafor, I'm telling you right now, you might as well hand Boston the NBA championship, because there's a such thing as too much talent, and the Celtics at that point would have too much talent. They love big body, big men. That's why they have Al Horford. They got Aaron Baines, who's a really big body. Jahlil Okafor would be perfect for them, but it really honestly would be unfair. So I hope that these NBA GMs don't allow Danny Ainge to pull off another heist like he did with Jason Tatum, Kyrie Irving, and get a guy like Jahlil Okafor, because really they would become the dominant team in the Eastern Conference, I think. And like I said, at that point, they would be the favorites to win the NBA championship. But if no other team steps up, that's probably what's going to end up happening. And that's going to be a very, very unfortunate thing for the rest of the Eastern Conference. So regardless, I just hope that Jahlil ends up in a good place. He is a very good basketball player, and I think he's going to have a long career. If I had to put money on who's going to have the longest NBA career between Jahlil Okafor and Joel Embiid, I would put my money on Jahlil Okafor all day long. But time will tell. I just want them to let the guy go. Philadelphia, do the right thing. Do the right thing, man, and let this boy play. You don't want him. Get him out of there, and stop taking money out this young man's pocket, because he is a fantastic basketball player. Anyway, it's your boy BSG 24/7 Sports. Thanks for watching. Comment below where you think Jahlil would be a better fit, and I'm gonna holler at y'all in the next video.